Good morning, gamers, and welcome back to the GM Academy in the game shop's basement with the grumpy old GM John. All right, so today we're going to do something we haven't done for a while. We're going to add to the Rolodex of NPCs. So this is NPC Rolodex entry number 7. I went ahead this morning and created a playlist for the NPC Rolodex, so that should be a little more organized for y'all in the future. What am I from the South today, y'all? What was that? Anyway, moving right along. Down below, you'll find our Patreon, where you can actually join GM Academy and get personal tutoring and coaching from me and some other grumpy old GMs that have worked with me over the years. You can say hi to us on Discord, join our gaming community, game with us, all that kind of stuff. So definitely, I already said y'all, so I might as well go all the way. Hey, come on down and say howdy. Woo! What am I channeling today? I don't know. Didn't have anything different for breakfast. But anyway, so NPC Rolodex entry number 7, that beautiful, gorgeous woman you see in the picture there, that is a representation of Melodia. Now, Melodia is an NPC, I just made like a month or two ago, and have used like once. So she is not some like old story where I'm going to, like some of the other NPCs that I've talked about in this series. I go into these old stories about, stuff I did in my college days and stuff. She is new, but she's an example of an archetype. She's an example of a type of NPC that I call the mysterious NPC. Or, if you saw the Mystery Man movie, which is the absolute funniest superhero movie ever, the way the Blue Raja would say it, terribly mysterious. So the mysterious NPC, basically, this is not some kind of story crafting technique. It's not like Lanoth the Owl, or DMing technique like Lanoth the Owl allows you, the DM, to have an in-universe reason to give the players advice. Or this NPC wasn't created to prove a point like Linfa the Noodle Chef, that proved that the game isn't just about powers and stats and number crunching, that a zero-level commoner NPC can kick the party's butt. So those are some previous videos in the series on the playlist, but Melodia, the purpose of the mysterious NPC is just to kind of keep the party guessing, or keep the party conversating, or kind of keep them hooked. A mysterious NPC is usually some kind of shape changer. They might be a were creature. They might be they could be a changeling. They could be shape changed dragon. One of the first mysterious NPCs I ever had, back when I was in college, was a shape-changed silver dragon. Because those of you that are into D&D canonic dragon lore, you know that silver dragons are the best shapeshifters, and they can change into human form like nobody's business and stay in human form a long time. And so the party this was 2nd edition, and so dragons right out of the book back then had some clerical powers also. And so there was a silver dragon who pretended to be a paladin. And because he could heal and cast some cleric spells and stuff and heal people, he pretended to be a paladin. And he had dragon strength in human form, so he was, pretty powerful paladin. He wasn't actually a paladin, he just, pretended to be one because that's what his powers would enable him to simulate. But he ran with the party for like a year of real life time, and they just thought he was this NPC paladin tagging along. And then one day they were dealing with something that touched on dragon politics and stuff. And it got revealed that he was a paladin, or actually a silver dragon, that their paladin was actually a silver dragon. It just blew their minds. Some other mysterious NPCs. And the thing is, as long as, you can resist the urge not to give away the spoiler, not to give it away too early, especially if you drop some hints, though, that get the party talking. So the party starts to suspect that, so-and-so isn't they're more than they seem. What's going on with so-and-so? And so they might start, so-and-so might be a vampire, or so-and-so might be this, or so-and-so might be that. And their little player character imaginations will run away with all kinds of possibilities. Now, you know exactly what he or she or it is, because you're the DM. But the player characters' imaginations will just run wild, and you can drag this out for a long time. And player characters will even start to try to figure it out what the NPC really is. So and in D&D there's also variations of vampires. So there are some vampires that aren't damaged by sunlight. So I've had mysterious NPCs be vampires before. And there, even back when in first edition and second edition, when the main vampire would drain levels, there were still some variations of vampires that actually drank blood. And so there was a variant vampire that actually could stand in the sunlight and drank blood instead of draining levels. And his name was like Armand, I think. No, callbacks to Anne Rice or anything, but he just kind of drank blood on the side, never showed the party what he really was, didn't bare his fangs or anything, but and it was actually revealed on accident what he was. The party was doing Spelljammer, because in second edition days it was Spelljammer. Man, I guess I am telling old stories anyway, whatever. Anyway, but this is just how cool the mysterious NPC can be and how it can take things in unexpected directions. Because the party was doing Spelljammer, because it was the second edition days, the original heyday of Spelljammer, and the party was doing a calculation to see how many people were consuming air out of the ship's air envelope and how long the ship's air envelope would last before they had to dip into an atmosphere on a planet and refresh their air envelope. And they had one person too many sucking air out of the atmosphere, and that's when Armand revealed that he was actually a vampire and didn't actually need to breathe the air. Or when he did breathe so that he could vibrate his vocal cords and talk, he wasn't actually consuming the oxygen because he's dead. So his breathing didn't count against the sustainability of the air envelope. The party, by that time, Armand was like a cleric and he'd been with the party like forever. Oh my goodness, Armand is a vampire. So Melodia, let's get to her today. So Melodia is, the party was in the Feywild, and Melodia, I was thinking what kinds of dragons would be in the Feywild, besides the moon dragon that they have in Fizzbands, because that's like so obvious and new and everybody knows about that because it just came out. So Melodia is a song dragon. They're really cool. Don't have time to go into that here, but I put Dungeon Dad's video about song dragons in the doodly-doo below. So if you really are into song dragons, you could search them on the internet and read a wiki, but I recommend Dungeon Dad's videos. They're just the coolest place to learn about monsters. Dungeon Dad rocks. So Melodia is a song dragon with a name like Melodia or Melody. I mean, could it be more obvious? The party was going to recover a treasure that included a magical harp. And that magical harp actually used to belong to her. Like in her draconic history, it was actually part of her dragon hoard. And, so she was a previous owner and she kind of wanted it back. And so she wanted to help the party or reward the party. She was temporarily a party member, contributing NPC party member. And she just, hey, when you guys, there's a harp there. And when you guys recover what you're going to recover, that's all I want. Just want that harp, And then I built it up. She promised that if they would, accept that deal and if they would give her the harp, then she promised that she would sing them a song in her true form. And the party really couldn't resist that. Ooh, 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 So, so they gave her the harp and she changed into her true form of a song dragon and sang them a song in song dragon form. But yeah, mysterious NPCs, they're a way to get the players, kind of invested in what's going on with your campaign. There's lots of ways to do that, to get them to care, to get them to notice what's going on in your world and with your NPCs more than just what's going on with their character sheets and their build and what ability they want next and stuff like that. But to get them to engage in your world, the story, what's going on there. So the mysterious NPC. In other news, we have a couple tables to talk about here right now. This is end of April 2023, and our Dark Sun table is considering moving from Wednesday days, when a lot of people have day jobs, to Friday nights. This is not official yet, but if more people would be available to kind of fill the last few seats at that table, they are open to that. So if you're into Dark Sun, WotC's Forbidden World, then check us out on Discord and we'll hook you up with some Dark Sun Friday nights. They're using 5e as the rule set. Speaking of rule sets, on Saturday afternoon, we're doing Old School Essentials 1e in the afternoon at noon Central Time. using the world of J.V. West's Black Pudding zine, the world of Iria. And we have a few seats filled, looking to fill a few more seats. So if you'd like to try some first edition 1980s cheese, in a good way, J.V. West keeps me in stitches with his art and his cartoons and his humor. So if you'd like to see what D&D was like in the 80s, when it was just pure fun and people just weren't uptight yet and it was just silly, and just a good time to laugh with other nerdy fantasy friends. I mean, the friends aren't fantasy. I mean, the friends are real. But, and friends who are into fantasy. But then check that out. In the meantime, I will see you around the gaming table.